So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts Put on Their Mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Extraordinary Mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
Now, before we get started with this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this episode, share this podcast, and if you can, do me a favor, head on down to the review section and leave an honest review, because this podcast was dedicated to helping us become a better version of ourselves. And I don't know what that version is, but I know that just like we need a little bit more money, just like we need a little bit more sleep, just like we need a little bit more of anything in life, we deserve to be a little better than what we are right now. What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. Now, before we even get started, man, I'll say this, that betting on yourself has been heavy on my spirit a lot lately. Like, so heavy that, like, I don't think a lot of people really understand what it means when you got to bet on yourself. Like, when you really got to believe in yourself. Like, when you're back up against the wall and the only person that's believing in you right now is you. Now, a couple of years back, man, for those who don't know, I got NJP. I was getting active at one point, you feel me? And I had to deal with that. And 2014, 2015, I was going through it. And I remember seeing a post online, and it talked about a Marine that went through an NJP. He went through some adversity, and he was able to come out on top. Fast forward, here I am about to start podcasting. I run into this exact same Marine again in the PX. And he tells me a story, and he talks about how he betted on himself. And I remember walking away saying, like, damn, man, when you gonna bet on yourself, Demetrius? Here we are 3 years later after I finally betted on myself and started doing podcasts. And I finally got Daniel Rivera, a.k.a. Danny Limelight, on the show, man. What's going on with it?
What's up, mi gente? How you doing, Demetrius?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling.
Time flies, bro. That's a long-ass time. 8 years ago to then 4 years ago to the present. Sometimes betting on yourself isn't an overnight success, but look at you now, dog.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Look at you. Like, I hate when people sit back and they try to say, like, well, social media is taking over, physical interaction. I feel like social media is actually keeping us connected.
Right.
Because without it, like, I would never have got a chance to see your journey. And I just want to tell you, man, like, and give your flowers now. But, man, you doing amazing, bro. You really doing amazing.
I appreciate that, and you're right. Like, social media, some people don't like it. It's definitely not for everybody. It's also definitely a part-time, full-time job for some people. But it does allow you to just peek through the window of somebody's life and somebody's journey. And people only post what they want you to see on social media, obviously. But for the most part, you get a good look at what somebody's doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis. I'm very active on social media because of my career and what I do. So it's kind of cool to see, how social media can connect people all these years later,
100%.
Networks like this for business purposes and just being able to, like, stay in touch with somebody.
100%.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst at picking up a phone and calling somebody that I ain't talked to in a minute and be like, yo, how you been? But if I see them post something, I can comment or hit them up and stuff like that. So social media is definitely a asset for me, at least.
Bro, I'm the same, man. Like I rarely call people, you know what I mean? Like, I'll text here and there, you feel me? But if you post, at least I can see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can comment in the moment, like, hey, man, what's going on? Congratulations on what you're doing. And then I'm able to go on about my life. Mm-hmm. But...
And I think that, like, when it comes to the sense of like what you just said, commenting, staying in touch, and then going about your business, it also allows room for sparking inspiration. Oh, shit, like, this guy's doing this now. This guy's doing that now. Oh, she's doing this. They're going there. Oh, look, they just had a baby or whatever. Like, you can see all the stuff that people are doing, and then you can kind of reevaluate, self-evaluate yourself. Like, do I need to work harder? Are there things that I should be doing to get to where they're at? I've never been a hater. So when I see people flourishing and shining on social media and they getting new cars or new houses or they got a new girlfriend or a baby or a new job or they just started a business, like, to me, that's dope. It makes me sit back and be like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. What should I be doing now? And why am I sitting here? I'm going to give you a perfect example because it ties into what I do for a living. The Rock's my biggest inspiration. Like, I don't follow celebrities like that unless I know them personally. But The Rock is the one person that I follow because he's always posting what he's doing. whether it's the wrestling, whether it's his movies, the highest paid actor never did a single acting class, whether it's his producing, whether he's selling tequila, his headphones, his clothing line for Under Armour. You know, he has his hands tied in so many different things, and I see it. And there'll be time where I swear to you, I wake up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, and I open Instagram and The Rock's working out in the gym, and I'm like, this guy's so big. Well, if he's working out right now, why am I sleeping? Or he's doing business meetings, and I'm like, if he's doing this right now, why am I sleeping? You know, so like we just talked about, social media can really do a lot for people, man. It can really inspire somebody to want to work, to want to put in that extra gear shift to get to that next level.
Man, 100%, man. And just like what you said, bro, one thing I can't be is a hater. You feel me? Like, I can't be a hater,
blood.
man.
It's not
it ain't in my blood. You know what I mean? Like, when I want people to win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer that a candle will never lose its flame lighting another candle. It makes the room brighter. Facts. You know, and when you see somebody, like, succeeding, bro, like, you can't help but not, you know, root for them, dog. Because especially if you know their story. You feel me? Like, especially if you know how hard they worked to get to this moment. You like, man, that man deserve a dub. Yep. You know, and if you ever feel like you hating, you got to take a step back and ask yourself, like, what the fuck am I doing wrong in my life? People, you know, like you.
That's one of the hardest.
Hell no.
Self-evaluate.
Bro, self-accountability, and you know what's so crazy is, like, we live in this era right now where, like, we talk about, like, accountability and, you know, you need to talk about self-love. All of that shit start with you first. You feel me? Like, you go and you meet 10 people and you say 10 people the problem. 10 people ain't the problem. You the problem. You know what I mean? Like, everybody around you is successful, yet you not. Come on, bro. You know, so
you're supposed to be the average of who you surround yourself with. So if that's good people, that's people making money, that's people, you know, doing the family thing or whatever, or if that's bums doing nothing all day, then you're gonna be the average of that. You know,
you're gonna be that average bum, bro, and that's the worst feeling right there.
There's been a lot of people in my life over the last, you know, since I started in the military in 2009 to now, where I was friends with people 10 years, and then I get to this point in life and they just ain't doing nothing with themselves, and it's all love, you know. Like, I say what's up, but I ain't about to be kicking it with you if you ain't doing nothing with your life. Like, you ain't about to pull me back, you know. I can only bring you so much, you know, until you have to do it for yourself. And now, you know, this last couple of years, you know, my friend circle, or the people that I'm spending time with, people that I'm working with, it's a different level, you know, of what they're doing in life. I was gonna say different tax bracket, but I don't want to sound braggadocious. But, like, just a different level, different mindset, the effort, the work they're putting in, like, that's the group that I want to be in. I'm sorry, like, I've outgrown the military. While I was in the military, I outgrew it. You know, I couldn't do it no more. You know, while I was in the Marine Corps, I knew once I got in trouble for going to wrestle in Mexico, the Marine Corps didn't want nothing else from me but for me to be a slave to the institution. And that's fine. For some people that works. Not me. Like, I have bigger aspirations. I have bigger goals, you know? And what I've been able to do in 3 years during the pandemic since I got out of the military is crazy. You know, I've made more money in my life than I ever made in the military, you know, as a staff sergeant with an SDA. And all the extra benefits that come with being, you know, a father and all that stuff. Like, I'm achieving all my childhood dreams that the Marine Corps wouldn't have allowed me to do. Now, I do give the Marine Corps a lot of credit because they took a street rat kid from Brooklyn, New York at 17 years old and put some discipline in his body and some life experiences. So I'm forever grateful for that. But I outgrew the Marine Corps. And I outgrew a lot of the people that I used to hang out with. I don't even go back home to New York no more because ain't shit there for me. I say what's up to my family. I show love to my family. You know, tell my grandma I love her every day. But I'm not going back home. I'm not moving back to New York. I don't want to be in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to be in LA sometimes. Sometimes I want to be on an island somewhere. You feel me? Like, but I can't do that yet. I still got work to do. And that's the same kind of mindset and mentality that I'm putting into my daughter. You know, my daughter's 8 years old, already paying taxes because she's already grinding. She's already working. Her friend circle is not the average 8-year-old friend circles. You know what I'm saying? She's hanging out with Hollywood child stars and older people that are in the business. You know, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And she gets a good balance of it because her mom is still in the Marine Corps. Her mom is going to live and breathe the Marine Corps until she retires. That's her life path. But my daughter has that balance of both, but she leans more towards the stuff that I do. And so I think that when you work hard and you surround yourself with the right group of people and you bet on yourself. You make these connections, you build these bridges to get you to where you want to be, and then that's how you break generational cycles. I love my family. But my father was a drug dealer. My mom was a college dropout. So I ain't learned shit from them. And it's no hate towards them. I mean, I learned how to hustle. I learned how to grind. I learned how to throw hands with my pot, but that's about it. Everything else I learned through mentorship and just working. And now I'm able to teach that to my daughter at an even younger age. I ain't learned this till I was 25. You know, she started when she was 5, so she got a 20-year head start on me. You feel me? So I think that it's important to want to surround yourself with the right group of people, to want to work, to use the social media as a platform, and not look at it as like, oh, it's just I gotta post today. Oh, I don't want to see this person's post or whatever, man. Like you gotta work, baby. You gotta work.
100%, man. 100%, man. And you know, before I say something, I got to get this off my chest. You know, Miles Morales from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know. You know he's Puerto Rican, black, right?
Man, that made my day, bro. That made my day, cause you know my son Mexican and black. You know, and don't get me wrong, I love Peter Parker. You feel me? I'm a diehard Spider-Man. But when they made Miles Morales, you feel me? And when they made Miles Morales, I showed my son. I said, look. I said, dog, man, look.
He's like us.
You feel me? Yeah. And that always resonated, man, because I always think about, you know, where I grew up and where I'm at now. You know what I mean? And you mentioned it, you know, like coming from Brooklyn, New York, and enlisting in the military and your life changing and the friends that you lose. You know, we never talk about, like, as we go down those journeys, you feel me? Like, as we start to make make a change for ourselves and become that better version, you know, the people that we end up losing in the way that the vision eventually changes. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was the only one that really goes home. You know what I mean? Because I get tired of just seeing, you know what I mean? I get tired of seeing people in the exact same spot. And at times, and it feel like you don't fit. You don't even fit there no more.
And it's not like, it's not no shade towards them, and it's not like making you feel like, I'm better than you. It's just, you don't fit. We have nothing in common. What you're doing it's not going to add anything to my life. I still got love for you. I still wish you the best, but I ain't got to hang out with you no more. I don't even talk. I don't even think there's anybody that I went to high school with or that I was in the Marine Corps with that I still fuck with. You know, like I got one dude that I was in the Marine Corps with. He was my corporal when I was a PFC. His name is Nicholas Wiggins. He's my daughter's godfather. He's the only person really that I still talk to, you know, on a regular basis, because he's one of the ones that stood true, stood loyal. I could count on him, and he outgrew the Marine Corps, and he's doing amazing things in his life. And that's why he's still in my life, because we both add to each other's life, and he's a real good dude, you know. But not everybody that you meet is going to be like that. You know, some people are like just temporary.
Oh, man, I love that. I love that one right there. You feel me? Because we don't talk enough about, like, just outgrowing it. You feel me? Like, if the milk was in the refrigerator and it passed its expiration date, we'll throw that out.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, if the food went bad, we'll throw that out. If the clothes too small or they too big, either we going to adjust sizes or we going to throw that shit out. You know? But here we got people in our lives that we done outgrown. You know what I mean? And now we faced with that decision.
Personal, you know, some of them get upset and be like, "Oh, you changed." Yeah, I changed. I ain't worked this hard to stay the same, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh,
like
100%.
What is it? Like I heard it was like in a rap song. I can't remember who it was, but they said like, or maybe it was Cat Williams stand-up comedy. He was like, if you've been selling drugs for 10 years and you ain't move up to cocaine, he was like, then what are you doing? And not to say that I endorse drugs, but in the same retrospect, if you're doing the same shit,
well, you can't be selling nickel bags. You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not into the, you know, I don't do drugs like that or anything like that. But the concept of if you're doing the same thing for 10 years, you're gonna stay right there. You're not gonna go nowhere.
100%.
You know,
100%, man. You know, like I heard that, bro, and I had to say it, man, because I got a friend right now, man. That motherfucker still trying to rap. You feel me? It's been 10 years. He's still trying to make it into the game. And I do my best to listen to his stuff. You feel me? But you put 10 people in a room, I can guarantee you they ain't going to pick his shit. They ain't picking it. You know? And it's like, bro, like...
Sometimes you got to be that friend and be like, bro, you need a new career choice. And he
bro,
pack it
mad.
Up. He going to get mad. You a hater, bro. Da-da-da-da-da. But you just being honest. There's people that...
100%.
I tell them, I'm like, bro, maybe wrestling ain't for you. You know?
Now my question is,
go ahead.
now my question is one of the biggest things, man. Is like as you started your journey, you feel me? Like everybody always has this aspiration. They got this dream. You feel me? And we always talk about becoming a better version and growing and breaking generational curses, but we never do. What do you think is some of the reasons why people don't ever start?
Fear, uncertainty. I mean, I'll give you an example. You know, I could have stood in the military, and because I had a guaranteed paycheck and all these benefits, and why would I, you know, turn that away for a chance to try to go make real money wrestling? That's scary to some people, you know, because some people don't have that belief in themselves. But I feel like you know if you're good enough. Like you have to be honest with yourself. Like something like you brought up, I'm gonna use your friend, the rapper, as an example. This ain't no shade towards him, but he knows he's not that good. But he's not gonna admit it to himself because he's 100%. In denial. But if he knew that he was good enough, he would stop everything he's doing and just focus on the music. But he's gonna keep 100%. His little day job, wherever the hell it is, in some office or whatever he does in between. But it couldn't be me. I was wrestling part-time, and I wasn't even allowed to wrestle in certain places because then I had to put leave in, I had to request out of bounds, I had to do this, I do that. I'm a fucking staff sergeant, I'm a grown-ass man. You telling me I can't go to Mexico now? All right. That's when I knew. I was like, I need to get out of this because I knew that I was good enough. And I knew that if I had more time and I didn't have to get a haircut and shave my face every day and I didn't have to do this and be there and go here and travel there, I would be able to wrestle for a living. It wasn't even a year after I got out of the military. I was already wrestling for AEW. 6 months, I was already wrestling for New Japan. Less than a year, I had my first look at WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went and did the work, the extra work over there. You know, they had me doing a segment with Goldberg and some other stuff, and I wrestled for it. Matter of fact, I got out of the military October 2019. By October 2020, so a year, did work with WWE, wrestled for Impact Wrestling, wrestled for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and wrestled for AEW. I hit the 4 biggest wrestling companies in the world in less than a year. And I think that was just a testament to, okay, I could fucking do this. I knew I could, but now I got the actual time to do it. 100%. I could grow my hair and I could do certain things. I could work out more. I have the time. I can eat better. I ain't sleep deprived on 24-hour duty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was things that I was able to do. I'm able to go to Mexico. I'm able to go to wherever I want to go. Can nobody tell me nothing? I don't answer to nobody. I wake up when I want to wake up. I do what I want to do. And the Marine Corps wasn't going to let me get there. So people know if they're good enough. It's like people there's people that want to be wrestlers. They know they're not good enough, but they do it because it's cool for them to post about it. But it's not there. It's not in them. It's not what they really want to do. It's fun for them. It's a hobby. It's part-time. They're still working at McDonald's or Walmart or wherever they're at. And I'm not hating on those jobs. I'm just saying, if you believed in yourself, you go all the way in. I don't have another job. All I do is wrestle and audition. I do stunts, I act, and I go to school. That's it. And I'm almost done with school. And that's because, and the only reason why I went to school is because nobody in my family got a degree from college, and I want to be the first one to get a degree.
Bro. You know, we sit back and we talk about that, man, and I'm glad that you brought this up, is that, you know, somebody right now is driving to a job that they don't want for money that they need. And the whole time that they drive and they passions, they dreams, they aspirations live in the backseat of the car. And they'll go to the job, they'll punch the clock and make somebody else richer. And then come home and look their kids in the eyes and tell them to follow their dreams. The whole time that they did. You go, you know, and when you sit back, man, like you see somebody, you feel me? You see somebody in there, they hate their job. And I feel like that's one of the worst feelings in the world is to wake up every single day to drive to somewhere where you hate. And the only thing that's bounding you there is money. The only thing that's bounding you there is fear. Like, we never talked, you know, the thing is that...
It's the safety net.
It's a safety net.
It's the feeling of feeling safe and secure. Like, okay, like, I hate what I do for a living, but I need to pay my bills. And if I don't do this job, I don't think that I can make the same amount of money doing what I love. very, 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 very few people do what they love for a living. And I
100%.
refuse, bro. I refuse to be miserable every day. I refuse to get up, put a fucking uniform on, and go to the military. Or I refuse to get up and have to go sit in an office or get a government job doing logistics because I have 10 years of experience in that. I'd be miserable, bro. I couldn't see myself sitting behind a desk doing this all day.
That should have drive you crazy, bro.
Watching the clock, bro.
That's it right there. Watching the clock.
I can't.
Yeah.
You're just watching your life pass by. I can't do that.
Dog, man, and you hear people talk about it all the time, and this my thing though is that we don't acknowledge fear for what it is, bro. Like fear, that's a primal emotion. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I don't know who need to hear this, man, but it is okay to be scared. You becoming a better version of yourself should scare you a little bit.
Yeah, you change.
You know what I mean?
You
changing. You know, you starting that venture. That shit should scare you. You know what I mean? When motherfuckers sit back and they try to minimize that kill me the most. I know you've heard this before.
Yeah, let me hear it.
I know you heard this before. When you talk to somebody about fighting, you feel me? And they always say like, man, I could never do this, man. You know, I see red, I'll black out. Bro, if you scared, just say that.
It's the same thing like, I could never join the military because the drones should get in my face. I'm going to punch them in the mouth. You know how many kids' face I was in and not one of them kids ever thought about swinging on me? Maybe they thought about it, but as fast as they thought about it, as fast as it went out the window. People will say anything to make what they feel secure. People will say anything to be like, this is a good, it's like the saying, any excuse will do.
Yes.
I can't go to the gym today. My goldfish died. Just say you don't want to work out, bro.
Bro, just say that. Just say that. You're gonna appreciate yourself more if you're just honest. You will appreciate yourself more.
You won't look back later on in life and be like, damn, what if?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, bro. I would be miserable if I look back and be like, damn, what if I would have just pursued wrestling? Or damn, what if I would have really tried to do this acting and stunt stuff? I've been acting 2 years, bro. I've already done commercials, TV shows. I just finished with Netflix. Like my daughter's doing commercials and movies, and and you know what's crazy is I'm breaking that fear factor in her head at a young age. No one's gonna be able to tell my daughter she can't do anything she wants because all she's gonna say is like, "You're telling me I can't do this, but my dad did it. You're telling me I can't do this, but I'm already doing it." She's already doing it at 8 years old. And to me, that's the most important thing. The most important thing out of everything that I'm doing right now is I'm making so many connections for Khaleesi, for my daughter.
Man, and I applaud you for that, man, because when we sit back and we think about like generational curses and we think about what our parents did for us, our parents did the best that they could with what they had. You feel me? And they believed the dream of what somebody else had told them. Now, my question is that as you pursue that career, as you pursue your career with acting, as you pursue, you continue moving forward in wrestling and you continue to make these changes, was there ever a moment where people just didn't believe in you?
Of course. To this day, people still don't believe in me. I got family that have never bought a t-shirt. I got family that have never seen me wrestle. I got friends that never bought a shirt, never came to see me wrestle. And it's crazy because strangers will believe in you and support you before your family and friends do.
Oh, say that shit again, man.
I said,
say that again.
Strangers will support you before your family and friends. Now,
100%.
what I will say is my daughter's mother, Miranda, my ex-wife, she paid for my first few months of wrestling training when we were together because I was paying all the bills. I didn't have the money for the extra money for the training, but she paid for it. I don't think she thought it would go this far, but for me, it was enough trust that she believed in me. Even though if you ask her, she probably would have been like, I thought it was going to be a hobby or something for a little bit. But now that I'm doing and even we have conversations today sometimes. Like, I'd be like, I always give her flowers. I always thank her for paying for my training because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her paying for it. But she would. I asked her like, did you think it was going to get like this? Like, and she was like, she'd be like, no, I didn't know. I just, and that's fine. You know, my daughter believed in me. My daughter was watching wrestling with me when she was an infant. You know, like I'd sit her ass on the couch with a little boppy, and she'd sit there with her little pacifier or a bottle watching somebody lay the smackdown. You know, and I would say my dad he believed in me from the beginning too. He watched all my matches, bought all my shirts, like. But other family and friends, it took them a long time. And now that my shit is popping, and they see the little blue check, and they see all that I'm doing, and they see me on TV, and now everybody all of a sudden, oh man, like,
I
oh, can I get
believe in,
tickets?
I knew you could do it. And
Can I get tickets here? Can I get tickets to the show? And some people, yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, give me in there. I'll get you a ticket. I don't care. Like I ain't holding no grudge. Just because you didn't believe in me, that's nothing to do with me. That's the insecurity in yourself that you didn't trust or believe that I could do what I say I could do. But people who don't know you would believe in you before family and friends because they don't know you, so they don't have a personal opinion on who you are. They see me come out, they hear my song, and they see me do what I'm fucking good at. And you're a star, Danny. Oh man, I really like they buy my shirts, they follow me, they like all my shit, like, and I love my fans, bro. I got mad love for my fans. I never say no to a picture. I never say no to an autograph. I never say no to none of that because I need my fans. I need them to support me. That's how I get over. That's how I get further. You know, having the fan base to push you there. But I wish it was different. I wish family and friends supported you because you know what makes me the most mad?
What's up, man?
Family and friends will fucking post every Drake song or all these celebrities. They'll put the pictures of Big Sean and Jhené Aiko on their story or Rihanna's pregnant on their story. These people will never see the shit. They don't even know you exist. But you can't share or like or buy a $20 shirt from your cousin or your brother or your friend because they don't have the clout that Chris Brown does or you know all the you know whatever your favorite actor or singer or rapper is, you know. That to me is crazy because you are giving your money, your support, your love, your business to complete strangers. That's what I mean by strangers will support you before your family and friends do.
Oh, I never even looked at it like that. I knew what you meant, man, but it was always a part that I never looked at it like that. You know what I mean? And I remember when I first started podcasting, I remember when I first started speaking, you know, people would play Eric Thomas, they would play these big name speakers, and I'm over here kicking this. I'm kicking this fire, and I'm like, dang, like, you know, y'all ain't feeling this. Y'all don't think that I'm doing it. And
they don't believe it. They don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Because all they know is, you know, Demetrius, the Marine. Oh, you ain't a motivational speaker or influencer. You're a Marine. That's all you can do with your life. Fuck. No.
And that's the crazy part. You know. Now my question is that we know what it feels like when, you know, what it's like when no one when our family ain't believing in us. You know what I mean? But can you just walk me through, like, you know, what it felt like to have somebody believe in you? Because that's the part right there that I always look back on and think, like, you know, people stop because they feel like they ain't making a difference. They feel like they alone in this situation.
My name is Daniel. It comes from the Bible verse, Daniel and the lions. Getting thrown to the lion's den, no one believing in you, getting put basically to die, you know, like set in there by yourself. And Daniel walked into the lion's den and walked out unharmed, unscathed, you know. The lions didn't touch him. They didn't do nothing for him. Daniel means only God can judge me. And I'm not trying to preach or anything like that, but I believe in that. And I believe that when I started this, I was set into the lion's den with no followers, nobody following me into this, just coming into this whole new world where I'm either going to get chewed up and spit out or I'm going to walk out leading them, you know? And I remember vividly, my first match was October 11, 2014, just 2 months after I started training to wrestle. And I wrestled, and it was fun. And I look back now, and I sucked so bad. But, like, I was good enough. You know, back then I was good for where I was at 2 months in, you know. But now I'm like, oh, what the fuck? You know, what are you doing, bro? But we grow and we learn, you know. But 2 months after that, I made my first batch of T-shirts. I spent $280 for 30 shirts. And I remember I had to ask my daughter's mom for the money to get the shirts made, and she's like, "Well, I'm paying for wrestling training now. I'm paying for T-shirts." But I knew that this was going to be a way for me to determine my value and my worth. If I'm good enough, these shirts are going to sell. And if all 30 of these shirts sell, that $280, I'm going to do the math right now, because back then I used to sell my shirts for 20, now I sell them for 30. But it would have been $600, which would have been over $300 profit on the money that was invested.
Right.
My first time making 30 shirts, my first show, all 30 shirts sold out. And I went home and I gave my daughter's mom the money that I made from the shirts. And that's when I knew, I was like, I can do this. I need a lot of work. I need to polish a lot of stuff. And to this day, I'm still working. I'm still learning. I'm still getting better. But I'm an eternal student. I'm always willing to learn from somebody. And wrestling, you have to be ever changing. You have to learn. You have to put in the work. And now, same concept. But now my shirts go for $30. Now I have to buy 50 shirts instead of 30 for a show. I have to do, I have to get 8x10 pictures printed so I can autograph now. When I used to sell those for just $10, now my autographs are $20. And your worth is what someone's willing to pay. And I think that's when I realized that I can do this. That's when I realized that this was for me. And I remember my first group of fans. It was this couple. Their name was Daniel and Mona Ripley. And I'll never forget them, because Mona, she's a big black woman, loud. She always sat in the front row, always was talking shit to the bad guys, always screaming for the good guys. And her husband, Daniel, was a huge wrestling fan. And I remember them coming up to me. They had a son. He was like 18 years old-ish, like that. Rest in peace. He actually passed away. He got sick and passed away not too long ago. But they would come up, they'd buy all my shirts. They'd always like, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be a star. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. But at the time, it didn't click that those strangers saw something in me that my family and friends didn't see. My first 3 wrestling shows, all my friends came to. I didn't win a match for the first. I didn't win a wrestling match for my first 8 months wrestling. Once my friends came to the first 3 shows and seen that I wasn't winning, they stopped coming. And
Really?
Yeah, they stopped coming to shows. And it's all good. Like, people get busy, life happens and stuff like that. But the strangers who didn't know me saw my name on a flyer, saw my picture on a flyer, and they show up to see me. And then my fans base started getting a little bit bigger. People started tweeting about me. People started posting about me. And then more people started seeing me. Other companies started booking me. And then I started going to wrestle in LA instead of only San Diego. Now I'm in LA. And now I'm getting a smaller fan base in LA. People are seeing me. Like, oh, who is this kid? And then I'm wrestling in Mexico. And then I'm wrestling on the East Coast. And now, all of a sudden, Danny Limelight is countrywide. And in Mexico. And then I had to stop for 2 years because I went to go be a drill instructor. And then when I came back, it was kind of like I had some people that still remembered me, but I had a lot of work to do because a lot of the people that I was coming up with were already stars. They were getting signed, they were getting tryouts, they were wrestling in the biggest shows, and I had to put in the work all over again. But I came back hungry as hell, and my shit took off. And now, I could be in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii not too long ago on a boat ride to go swim with dolphins, and I get off the boat after the excursion's over, and some guys, hey, Danny Limelight. And some random ass Hawaiian dude wants a picture because they see me wrestling in AEW. Or I go to the theaters with my daughter and her little friend Abby Pratt, who's also a child actress who's on Netflix and all these movies that she just finished filming for Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And I take both the girls, my daughter and her friend, to the movies. And the concession stand guys are a Danny Limelight fan. And now the little girls are laughing. My daughter and her friends laugh because I got recognized there. And in their eyes, they're oh, I'm a star. Why did they recognize me, but they recognize your dad? But that stuff to me is like, okay, I'm not where I was in 2014. I'm not where I was 2019. Now I'm slowly becoming a household name in the wrestling community. And now that all these other doors are opening for me in Hollywood, more people are recognizing me. More people are seeing me. And I'm networking in LA with all these influencers. Doing these little events and going to I was partying and meeting people at the club and just connecting and collaborating, and that to me is growth, and it's believing in yourself, and it's doing what you have to do. I can't get to where I want to go to if I'm still hanging out with Marines in San Diego going to Carlsbad to get drunk. I'm sorry. I'm tired of Boris Crossing. It was great. It was fun. I have a lot of memories there. But I'm not going to Boris Crossing anymore. Like, I'm just not doing it. I don't even want to go to the gas lamp. I want to go somewhere else. I don't want to be at a bar drinking. I'd rather be in the gym, or I'd rather be on an island with a beautiful ass woman. It's just it's growth.
Speaking of Boris Crossing, man, like I remember going there. It was my first, bro. It was my first and last time ever going to Boris Crossing. I remember sitting there. I'm having a drink, and I look over, and I see this lady, and no shade to her. You feel me? I don't shame, but I looked over, and she had one leg. You feel me? And on the other leg, it was like you ever seen the Pirates how they be talking about like the peg leg and stuff like that. Like she had like this wooden damn stick hooked up to her and stuff like that. I looked around. I didn't want to make a big deal about it. You know what I mean? And I was like, don't y'all ever bring me out here again. Don't y'all ever bring me out here again. And that was my first and last time going to Boris Cross. I ain't never.
He said, don't y'all ever bring me out here again.
You feel me? I'm like, this is a pirate.
I had some good times at Boris. I had some good times in Oceanside. But I'm sorry. I don't want to go to the Purple Church every Friday. Or Wednesday on average.
Well, they closed. They closed it down.
I don't know that because I haven't been there and I don't know how long.
Yeah, man. One of my Marines told me a while back, man. I was like, that's fucking Marine Corps history right there. What are y'all doing? You feel me? That's fucking Marine Corps history.
It is.
But one of the most, I think, like the biggest thing that you said though that really resonates with me is that a lot of times, like, we always get hung up on the negative. You feel me? And hearing you talk about like the positive, you know what I mean? Like you go through Instagram, you post something on Instagram, you look at your comments. Most people usually read the negative comment, you know what I mean? And that one resonates. That one's the one that they give attention to. That's the one that they're going to be arguing back and forth. But above that comment, you know what I mean, is somebody saying like, yo, man, you going to be great. Yo, man, I love your stuff. Yo, man, keep going. You feel me? And we don't give that one attention. So it feels good for you to still remember that moment with that couple where they believed in you.
Yeah,
and
to this day, like I have them on Facebook now and like see what they're doing in life. It's just cool that they were one of my first fans. I remember like the little kids being excited to see me outside when I was leaving the venue to go to my car, and they're like all waiting in the parking lot for like autographs, sign their hats and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I got swarmed by like 7 kids, and I was with my daughter's mom at the time, and my daughter she was 6 months sitting in like my mom was carrying her, and I have my bags, and these kids just came rushing up to me and they would want autographs, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like signing shit.
Yeah,
like it's crazy, I forget sometimes like what the journey was like, because sometimes I wish I was where I was praying to be where I'm at now, just so I could relive that experience and like just really embrace the journey. I felt like I was in such a grind mode and such a hustle mode that I missed out on the small details of my journey to get to where I'm at now. So sometimes I wish I could just go back and redo a match or re-meet a fan for the first time or like just create some kind of memory again that may have been skipped over in the fact that I was being so focused on my next show or my daughter or something, And now, I have a little bit more time on my hands now to do certain things that I love to do and to have fun. But now I really sit back and cherish it. Like yesterday, I wrestled for New Japan Pro Wrestling in LA, sold out show, fire match. And I got to the back and I went to go see the sports therapist, and he did some cupping shit on my back because I was kind of banged up. And I sat there and I was like, man, that was a really fun match. That was a really good show. the crowd was hot, like everybody was engaging, and I was like, oh, that was cool. And this
Mm-hmm.
weekend, I was on TV for New Japan Saturday. I was on TV for United Wrestling Sunday, and then I had a live show Sunday. So like a whole weekend of wrestling, and I got to like really enjoy it. I got to really embrace it. I watched myself on TV. It was like critiquing myself, not being an ego trip. I like to watch myself. Oh, I should have did this instead, or I could have did this better, you know. But I was like, man, like I'm literally 2 days in a row watching myself on TV for two different companies, doing what I love, and I have to wrestle. Like, can't ask for nothing better.
Man, and I appreciate you just talking about stopping and being able to smell the flowers. You know what I mean? Like, I remember a while back, my uncle had told me, he said, so many things has happened to you so fast, you know, it's definitely a blessing. And when he said that, I remember I didn't realize it. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting gigs. I had just released a book. You know what I mean? Like, I'm building up these things, but a lot of times, like, we're in that grind mode that we don't even realize that we're in the middle of what we prayed for in the beginning.
And it's like you're praying for something, and then you go and get what you just prayed for. Like you can't just pray for it and then sit on the couch. Like I want to be a millionaire. I'm gonna sit on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Lamborghini does not make commercials for their cars. You know why? Because
The car speaks for itself.
They say we don't make cars for people that have time to watch TV.
They said that.
If you're sitting at home watching TV, you're not going to see a Lamborghini commercial. You're probably also never going to be able to afford a Lamborghini. So it's crazy, right?
I feel that, man. I feel that. You know what I mean? And then as
you have to pray for it, and then you have to go get it. Like you have to go get, unless you plan on hitting the lottery. If that's your plan, yo, good luck, bro. Like.
Good luck, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't sit here and say, I want to be on TV every week. Let me sit on my couch.
I feel that.
Play with my nails. Like it's just not. And watch Netflix all day. I love watching TV. I love watching shows. And I got a show coming out soon on Netflix called Brother Son. So I'm going to definitely watch that. But
yeah,
you have to go get what you want. Like you have to put the work in. It's like anything else in life. Like the perfect example of this is a toddler, an infant, learning how to walk for the first time. They learn how to walk because they want to go get something. And they teach themselves how to get up and go get it.
100%.
They have the mentality, this big imagination, their little body, their little brains. And they say, I want to grab that thing on the shelf, but obviously sitting on my stomach ain't going to get it for me. Mommy and daddy don't want to give it to me. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take some steps and go grab it.
100%.
As adults, we should be doing that on a regular basis. What do I want today? I want this. I need to get the fuck up and go get it.
100%.
I'm getting turned up right now. I need to chill.
I told you, man, this episode was going to do it for you, man. You feel me?
I'm getting
and
turned up.
Man, and this is the thing, man, is when we talk about that, because that's one thing that, you know, because we both fathers, you know what I mean? And we had that chance to actually see that, you know. And I tell Marines all the time, and I tell people this all the time, is that you weren't born a quitter. You weren't born that.
Facts.
And when we talk about a child that's learning how to walk, you know, they're trying to go after something. And each time they take a couple of steps, they fall on their face. You feel me? And they don't wallow. They get right back up. You feel me? And why we not like that when it come down to our goals and our dreams? You feel me? You gonna fall on your face.
It's, how do I put this? In my opinion, some people can't take a fall. Some people can't take a hit. Some people don't have that backbone. You know, I like to tell the story from Rocky. You know, when he's talking to his son, he's like, "The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You and nobody's gonna hit as hard as life, but it doesn't matter how hard you can hit. What matters is how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anyone. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You better than that. And I just quoted the whole monologue from Rocky Balboa, the fifth one, But that's the way I talk to my daughter.
Same.
It's like you have to be willing to take the hits. Okay, you want to try something, you want to go do something. It's not going to be an overnight success. And there's a small percentage of people who can become an overnight success, but overnight
Yeah.
successes are here today, gone tomorrow. Look at all those famous.
100%.
I like to use, and this is no shame towards TikTokers and people who used to do Vine back in the day, and they make one little video, they go viral, they're popping like the D's Nuts guy. He was popping for like however long the D's Nuts guy was popping for. Now he's on Hollywood Boulevard walking back and forth, charging $5 for photos because he was an overnight success.
Yeah.
And he didn't know how to work. He didn't know how to get there. He got lucky. It wasn't supposed to be his.
One thing that always resonates with me is the grind. You feel me? And as we talk about like trusting the process, like a lot of people don't know, one of my biggest fears is that my talent gonna get me in the rooms that my character gonna get me out of. You know what I mean? Like my talent gonna get me in a room where my work ethic ain't gonna be able to keep up in. So when we talk about like those overnight successes, like you got the success that you always wanted, but you ain't never had the work ethic. You ain't never developed the character. You ain't developed the the mentality to maintain that. So to hear your story, man, and to just see everything, to hear about everything that you have worked hard for, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're destined for it. You know what I mean? Like you created it and you went out there and you pursued it.
Yep. And that's all we could do though. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You have to know
100%.
you got it. And if you don't got it, you have to be honest with yourself.
Oh, I love that. I love
because
that.
your friends aren't going to tell you. I'm sorry. A lot of people, they want to see you do good, but never better than them. Like, they're not going to tell you, hey, bro, you need to hang up the rap career. Hey, bro, maybe real estate isn't for you. Like whatever it is, whatever your passion is. Just because you love doing something doesn't mean it's what you're supposed to do for life. But
100%.
if you love doing something and you work to be really good at it, then that's where love and passion and success comes together, and you're able to do that. I'm proud to sit here wearing this New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt. I worked hella hard to get to one of the best wrestling companies in the world. And I've been
Congratulations.
to a lot of them, wrestled to a lot of those wrestling companies, but there's no such thing as an overnight success. And you can go viral
100%.
for a funny video, and that's it. That's all you'll be. You have your little 15 minutes of fame, and then bye.
I feel that. But as we come to a close to this episode, Danny, I got one last question, man. I just got one last question. It's on the moments where you feel like you can't, what is it that keeps you going?
My daughter. Because I don't want her to see that quitting is an option. I think first thing I think about is my daughter and what example am I trying to set for her? I don't want to raise a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I'm hella relentless. I'm relentless. I'm consistent. I'm persistent. I don't give up. That's in anything in life. And there are times where I sit like, well, not anymore, not recently, but like back then, I used to sit and be like, damn, like, what if I'm wrong? Or like, what if I just put myself in a hole, Or like, what if I just, but what's for you can't be taken from you. And if you work for it, nothing's going to be able to stop you. And when I feel like giving up, I think about my daughter, and I get up and I get right to it.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And just like that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Limelight, man. Do you got any upcoming projects before we just go ahead and close this episode out?
Mi gente, first off, Demetrius, I just want to thank you for bringing me on the show. This is
Appreciate
one
you.
of my favorite conversations I've had with somebody. That hour went by hella fast. I didn't even realize how fast that went by. I got a couple things coming up. I have a new movie coming out soon called Dark Acid, starring Byron Mann and Robert Patrick from Terminator 2. Byron Mann is the original Ryu. He's in Altered Carbon. Wu Assassins on Netflix. It's an action movie. Kind of got them Universal Soldier vibes. So
right.
I play one of the assets. I have a pretty sick fight scene with the main actor. I have a Netflix show coming out next year called The Brother's Son, starring Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It also stars this dude named Yoshi. He was in Bullet Train. He was the Blue Power Ranger in Dino Thunder. So it's a big action show coming out soon. It'll be on Netflix. I guarantee it'll be the top 10 on Netflix for sure. I got a lot of wrestling shows coming up. I don't know when this episode is coming out, but I got 3 shows this week. I got one tomorrow in Irvine, one Friday in LA, and one Sunday in Vegas. And then I got shows every month. I got shows coming up for the next 2 months all over California, all over the United States, and Puerto Rico. So pretty excited for that. I just want everybody to, just believe in yourself. Count on yourself. 100%. Don't count yourself out. Like, you need to believe in yourself the way you believe in whatever institution or organization you're working for. You need to know your worth and your value. And if there's something that you want to do, you have to put the effort to go get it. Thank you for listening. Make sure you constantly tune into Demetrius's podcast. Make sure you follow me on all social media at Danny Limelight. And so next time, we need to bounce back and do this again, bro.
100%, man. 100%, man. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned every Monday as we bring you another episode. And lastly, don't forget to like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, and share this podcast, because this podcast was dedicated to helping you become a better version of yourself. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but just like we need more sleep, just like we need more money, we deserve to be a better version of ourselves. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.